Every day millions and millions of grams of dyes are consumed around the world, and therefore this issue becomes a key factor for your health. Artificial colorings in food affect our body in different ways, and for this reason we leave you with some of the conditions that they may suffer. Pay attention. Allergic reactions. Some food dyes, such as tartrazine yellow 5 and erythrocene red 3, have been associated with allergic reactions in some people. These reactions can range from mild symptoms such as itching and hives to more severe reactions like anaphylaxis, which can be life-threatening. Allergic reactions to food dyes are more common in people who have a history of allergies, such as asthma or eczema. Hyperactivity. Some synthetic food dyes like red 40 and yellow 5 have been linked to hyperactivity in children, especially those with ADHD. These dyes have been shown to increase activity levels and decrease attention span in some children. The mechanism behind this effect is not well understood, but it is thought to be related to the way these dyes affect brain function. Cancer. Some studies have suggested a possible link between certain food dyes and cancer, although more research is needed to confirm this association. For example, red 3 has been shown to cause cancer in animal studies, and there is some evidence that other dyes like yellow 5 and yellow 6 may be carcinogenic as well. However, it is important to note that the amounts of dyes used in food are typically much lower than the amounts used in animal studies, and the safety of food dyes is regulated by the government. Hormonal effects. Some food dyes, such as red 3, have been shown to disrupt hormonal activity in animals. Specifically, red 3 has been shown to interfere with the function of the thyroid gland, which can have negative effects on metabolism and growth. However, it is unclear if these effects occur in humans as well, and more research is needed to understand the potential hormonal effects of food dyes. Gastrointestinal problems. Some people may experience gastrointestinal problems like nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea after consuming foods with certain dyes. This is more common in people who are sensitive to these additives or who consume large amounts of them. For example, some people may experience these symptoms after consuming products like sports drinks or energy bars that contain high levels of synthetic dyes. In addition to the potential consequences of food dyes that I mentioned earlier, there are some other factors to consider when it comes to the safety of these additives. For example, cumulative effect. While the amounts of food dyes used in individual products may be small, they can add up over time if you consume a lot of processed foods. This can lead to a cumulative effect, where the total amount of dyes you consume over time could potentially have negative health effects. Natural versus synthetic dyes. Some people prefer to avoid synthetic food dyes, and instead opt for natural dyes made from plant or animal sources. While natural dyes are generally considered safe, they can also have their own set of limitations, such as limited availability or stability, which can make them less practical for use in processed foods. Alternatives to dyes. Some companies are exploring alternatives to synthetic dyes, such as using fruit or vegetable juice as a coloring agent. While these alternatives may be more expensive or less stable than synthetic dyes, they can provide a more natural alternative for consumers who want to avoid synthetic additives. Labeling requirements. In many countries, food manufacturers are required to list the ingredients used in their products, including any food dyes. This can help consumers make informed decisions about the foods they eat and avoid products that contain additives they are sensitive to or wish to avoid. Another factor to consider when it comes to the safety of food dyes is the potential for contamination or adulteration. In some cases, food dyes may be contaminated with harmful substances or adulterated with cheaper ingredients to reduce costs. For example, some synthetic food dyes have been found to contain impurities like heavy metals, which can have negative health effects over time. To address this issue, many countries have established regulations and guidelines for food dyes, which may include limits on the amount that can be used in food, as well as testing and certification requirements to ensure that dyes meet safety standards. In the United States, for example, the Food and Drug Administration (FDA) regulates the use of food dyes and requires manufacturers to demonstrate that the dyes they use are safe for human consumption. However, some consumer advocacy groups have expressed concerns about the safety of food dyes and have called for more stringent regulations or even a ban on certain synthetic dyes. In response, some food manufacturers have voluntarily removed certain dyes from their products, while others have turned to natural alternatives. Another important aspect to consider when it comes to food dyes is their impact on food quality and consumer preferences. Food dyes can be used to enhance the color and appearance of food products, which can make them more appealing to consumers. For example, adding red food coloring to strawberry-flavored products can give the impression that they contain more fruit than they actually do. However, the use of food dyes can also affect the taste, texture, and nutritional value of food products. In some cases, the addition of dyes may alter the flavor or texture of a food, which can be problematic for consumers who are sensitive to these changes. Additionally, some consumers may prefer foods that are not artificially colored, or may seek out natural or organic products that do not contain synthetic additives. The use of food dyes can also have cultural and social implications. For example, certain colors may be associated with specific foods or cultural traditions, and the addition of dyes can alter or obscure these associations. Additionally, the use of food dyes can create an expectation that foods should be brightly colored and visually appealing, which can lead to a focus on appearance over other aspects of food quality or nutritional value. Overall, the use of food dyes is a complex issue that requires careful consideration of a range of factors, including safety, environmental impact, consumer preferences, and cultural significance. While some individuals may choose to avoid synthetic dyes altogether, others may be comfortable with their use in moderation. Ultimately, the decision to consume foods with synthetic dyes is a personal one that should take into account individual health concerns, as well as personal beliefs and values related to food and nutrition. In conclusion, the safety of food dyes is a complex issue that depends on many factors, including the type of dye, the amount consumed, and individual sensitivity or health concerns. While some studies have suggested potential negative health effects associated with certain synthetic dyes, others have failed to find a clear link. If you're concerned about the safety of food dyes, it may be helpful to speak with a healthcare provider or registered dietitian who can provide personalized advice based on your individual needs and concerns. Thanks for watching us. Remember to subscribe and consume more natural and healthier foods.